Everyone wants success. Comfort is killing your potential, and you're not just letting it happen. You're actively participating in your own mediocrity. Every time you choose the easy path, every time you opt for convenience over growth, every time you settle for good enough, you're not just stagnating you. You're actively moving backward. The world doesn't stand still while you rest in your comfort zone. While you're comfortable, someone else is pushing themselves beyond their limits. While you're settling, someone else is stretching. While you're taking it easy, someone else is taking your spot at the top. The most dangerous lie isn't the one others tell you. It's the one you tell yourself when you say you'll start pushing tomorrow. There's a moment that defines us. A moment when we look in the mirror and see not just our reflection, but the truth of who we've become. For some, that moment arrives in the depths of night, when the world grows quiet and our thoughts grow loud. For others, it strikes like lightning in broad daylight, amid the ordinary bustle of an otherwise unremarkable day. Let me tell you something profound about success that most people never grasp. Success isn't what we achieve. It's who we become in the process of achievement. And who we become, well, that's determined by what we do every single day when no one else is watching. You know, I meet people all the time who tell me they want to be successful. They say it with such conviction, such passion in their eyes. But here's the truth that cuts deep. Wanting success is easy. Everyone wants success. The real question isn't whether you want it. It's whether you're willing to become the person capable of achieving it. Think about your day yesterday. Really think about it. What time did you wake up? What was the first thing you did? What did you eat? How did you spend those precious morning hours? How many minutes? Be honest now. Did you spend scrolling through your phone, consuming other people's lives instead of building your own? These aren't just random questions. These are the building blocks of your future. Every single one of those decisions is either pushing you toward excellence or pulling you toward mediocrity. There is no neutral ground. Let me share something with you that might shake you to your core. The gap between where you are and where you want to be isn't measured in miles or months. It's measured in decisions. Small, seemingly insignificant decisions that you make every single day. Decisions that nobody sees, nobody applauds, and nobody criticizes. But these decisions accumulate like drops of water forming a mighty river. You see, winners, true winners, understand something that the rest of the world doesn't. They understand that success isn't a destination you arrive at one day with fanfare and celebration. Success is the natural consequence of consistently making the harder right choice instead of the easier wrong one. When your alarm goes off in the morning, that's not just a wake-up call, it's a decision point. Will you rise immediately, embracing the day with purpose? Or will you hit snooze, already negotiating with yourself, already compromising your standards? That single decision might seem small, but it sets the tone for everything that follows. Do you know what separates extraordinary achievers from everyone else? It's not talent, it's not luck, it's not even intelligence, it's their relationship with discomfort. Winners have learned to embrace discomfort as a signal that they're growing, that they're pushing boundaries, that they're becoming more than they were yesterday. But let's get really honest here. How many of us actively seek out discomfort? How many of us deliberately put ourselves in situations that challenge us, that make us uncomfortable, that force us to grow? Most people spend their entire lives trying to avoid discomfort, and then they wonder why they're stuck in the same place year after year. You've got to understand something crucial. Your comfort zone is not a place to live it. It's a place to visit occasionally. Living there permanently is a slow death of your potential. Every time you choose comfort over growth, you're making a statement about who you want to become. And that statement echoes through time, shaping your future in ways you can't yet see. I want you to think about something. What would your life look like if you pushed yourself just one harder every single day? Not 100 and not some dramatic, unsustainable change. Just one more rep when you're working out. 5 more minutes of focused work when you're tired. One more page of that book you're reading. One more call to a potential client. That one might not seem like much in the moment, but compound that over a week, a month, a year, and suddenly you're operating at a level that your old self wouldn't recognize. That's the power of incremental growth, of consistent daily push. But here's where most people get it wrong. They wait for motivation to strike before they take action. They wait to feel ready. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, the perfect circumstance. And while they're waiting, life is passing them by. Winners understand that action precedes motivation, not the other way around. You don't have to feel motivated to start. You don't have to feel confident to begin. You don't have to have it all figured out to take the first step. You just have to make the decision that from this moment forward, you're going to push yourself every single day, regardless of how you feel. Think about the greatest achievements in human history. None of them happened because someone felt particularly motivated one morning. They happened because someone made a decision to push forward, day after day, regardless of circumstances.
Here's the thing, as you're watching this right now, you probably love to learn, right? You know, learning is the core of transformation, and you probably...
Regardless of feelings, regardless of obstacles, your life right now, every aspect of it is a reflection of your past decisions. Your health, your relationships, your financial situation, your career, your personal growth, all of it is the accumulated result of the choices you've made up until this point. If you want different results, you need to make different decisions. But here's the beautiful thing about decisions. You can make a new one at any moment. Right now, in this very instant, you can decide to become the kind of person who pushes themselves every day. You can decide to become someone who doesn't wait for permission, doesn't wait for validation, doesn't wait for perfect conditions. The question you need to ask yourself isn't, what do I want? The question is, what am I willing to push myself through to get what I want? Because success isn't about what you want. It's about what you're willing to endure. It's about what you're willing to sacrifice. It's about how hard you're willing to push when everything inside you is screaming to stop. Winners understand this at a bone-deep level. They understand that every day presents countless opportunities to either push forward or pull back, to either grow or stagnate, to either become more or settle for less. And they make their choice consciously, deliberately, consistently. When you really think about it, every single day is a battle between who you are and who you could become. Every decision, every action, every response is either moving you toward your potential or away from it. There is no standing still. You're either growing or you're dying, pushing forward or falling behind. The world is full of people who know what they should do but don't do it. They know they should wake up earlier, work harder, eat better, read more, save more, give more. But knowing isn't enough. Knowledge without action is like having a map but never taking the journey. It's pointless. What separates winners from everyone else isn't knowledge. It's action. It's the willingness to do what needs to be done, especially when they don't feel like it. It's the ability to push through resistance, to break through barriers, to keep going when everyone else would quit. Think about the last time you pushed yourself beyond what you thought you were capable of. Remember how it felt afterward. That mix of exhaustion and exhilaration, that deep satisfaction of knowing you didn't take the easy way out. That feeling is growth. That feeling is progress. That feeling is you becoming more than you were before. But let me tell you something that might challenge everything you believe about success. The greatest opponent you'll ever face isn't out there in the world. It's the voice in your head that whispers, not today, maybe tomorrow. You're not ready yet? That voice sounds like wisdom, but it's really fear dressed up in reasonable clothes. Every morning, when winners push themselves to rise before the sun, they're not just fighting physical fatigue, they're fighting that voice. When they choose the salad over the burger, they're not just making a dietary choice. When they stay late to perfect their craft while others rush home, they're not just putting in extra hours, they're defeating internal resistance. You see, pushing yourself isn't about grandiose gestures or dramatic transformations. It's about winning the small battles that nobody sees. It's about choosing growth when comfort beckons. It's about pushing through one more rep, one more page, one more call, one more attempt when everything inside you is begging to stop. Let me share a profound truth about human potential. You are capable of 10 times more than you believe possible. 10 times more strength, 10 times more resilience, 10 times more achievement. The only thing holding you back is your own self. Winners understand this. They don't just push against external resistance. They push against their own perceived limits. Think about your biggest goal right now. The one that makes your heart race a little faster when you think about it. The one that seems just out of reach. Now, multiply that goal by 10. That's not unrealistic. That's your actual potential. The original goal you set, that was your fear talking. That was your comfort zone negotiating. That was your past conditioning limiting your future possibilities. Every single day, winners make the conscious decision to live as if that 10x potential is their reality. They don't wait until they feel capable. They act capable until the feeling catches up. They don't wait until they feel confident. They act confident until confidence becomes their natural state. But here's what most people miss about pushing yourself. It's not about punishment. It's not about grinding yourself down. It's about expansion. It's about becoming more. Every time you push past your perceived limits, you're not just achieving more, your capacity for achievement, for success, for impact is expanding. When you push yourself in your business, you're not just building a company, you're building character. When you push yourself in the gym, you're not just building muscle, you're building mental toughness. When you push yourself to learn new skills, you're not just acquiring knowledge, you're developing adaptability. Success leaves clues. And one of the biggest clues is this: winners make their daily push as ritualistic as breathing. They don't debate whether they should push themselves today. They've already decided that pushing themselves is simply what they do. It's not a choice they make. It's an identity they embody. But let's talk about something that most motivational messages miss. The art of
and I'm telling you, you will definitely see deposits. You will definitely get checks.
I was skeptical in the beginning too.
Of strategic rest. You see, pushing yourself doesn't mean running yourself into the ground. Winners understand that recovery isn't weakness. It's preparation for the next push. They work hard, yes, but they work smart. They push themselves to the edge, but they know where that edge is. Think about a rubber band. Its value lies not just in its ability to stretch, but in its ability to maintain its integrity while stretching. Push too hard without proper recovery, and it snaps. Don't push hard enough, and it loses its elasticity. Winners find that sweet spot, the maximum stretch that allows for optimal rebound. This is where most people get it wrong. They either push so hard they burn out, or they use the need for rest as an excuse to never really push at all. Winners understand that pushing yourself is about sustainability, not just intensity. They know that. Today's push must leave enough in the tank for tomorrow's battle. Every single day presents you with dozens of opportunities to push yourself when you're tired, but there's work to be done. That's an opportunity. When you're comfortable but growth beckons, that's an opportunity. When you're scared but action is required, that's an opportunity. Winners recognize these moments for what they are. Chances to prove to themselves who they're becoming. Let me ask you something. What story are you telling yourself about your capacity for growth? What limitations have you accepted as truth without ever really testing them? What boundaries have you set for yourself based on past experiences rather than future possibilities? The quality of your life is directly proportional to the number of uncomfortable conversations you're willing to have with others, yes, but more importantly, with yourself. Winners have these conversations daily. They constantly challenge their own assumptions, question their limitations, and push against their comfort zones. When you push yourself, you're not just changing your actions, you're changing your self-image. Every time you do something you thought was impossible, you rewrite the story of who you are and what you're capable of. This is why winners seem to operate in a different reality. Because they do. They've pushed themselves into a dimension of possibility that most people never experience. Every great achievement in your life so far came from pushing yourself beyond your previous limitations. Every skill you've mastered, every obstacle you've overcome, every goal you've reached, all of them required you to become more than you were before. The question is, why stop there? Why accept any limitations on your potential? The winners understand that comfort is the enemy of growth. They know that the moment they become comfortable with their current level of achievement is the moment they begin to decline. This is why they constantly seek new challenges, new mountains to climb, new limits to push against. But pushing yourself isn't just about personal achievement. It's about impact. When you push yourself to become more, you expand your capacity to contribute, to serve, to make a difference. Your growth isn't just about you. It's about everyone your life touches, everyone your work impacts, everyone your example inspires. Think about the ripple effect of one person pushing themselves to excellence. They inspire others to push themselves. Those others inspire still more people. Before long, an entire community, an entire organization, an entire generation is raising their standards, pushing their limits, expanding their possibilities. This is the hidden power of pushing yourself like winners do. You become a living example of what's possible. Your daily push, your consistent growth, your unwavering commitment to excellence becomes a light that shows others the way. You become proof that limitations are self-imposed, that potential is vastly greater than most people imagine. That success is available to those willing to push for it. The decision to push yourself every day is really a decision about who you want to become. It's a decision about what kind of life you want to live. It's a decision about what kind of impact you want to have. Winners make this decision consciously, repeatedly, unfailingly. They understand that every push, every stretch, every uncomfortable moment is shaping not just their capabilities, but their character. The hardest truth about success is this: your potential will always exceed your current performance. Always. No matter how far you've come, no matter how much you've achieved, there's always another level. And reaching that next level requires something that most people aren't willing to give. Consistent, deliberate, uncomfortable effort. You see, most people live their lives at about 40% of their true capacity. They do enough to get by, enough to avoid criticism, enough to maintain their current position. But winners, true winners, understand that living at 40% is a form of self-betrayal. They understand that every time you operate below your potential, you're not just underperforming, you're undermining your own destiny. Let me tell you something about human nature that might change how you view your daily efforts. Your mind is designed to protect you from discomfort. It's programmed to seek pleasure and avoid pain. This was great for survival in prehistoric times. But in today's world, this same mechanism often protects you right out of your dreams, right out of your destiny, right out of your potential. When you feel resistance toward taking action, when you feel that whole...
The Bible mentions one fruit from the Garden of Eden that can help men reclaim the tone and muscular body God gave them. So if you're over 40 and struggling with stubborn belly fat, love handles, and chest fat, I have some good news for you.
pull toward comfort and ease. That's not a signal to stop. That's a signal that you're on the verge of growth. Winners have learned to reinterpret these signals. Where others see warning signs, they see welcome signs. Where others feel fear, they think about water for a moment. When does water become pure? When it's pushed through resistance. When does steel become strong? When it's pushed through fire. When does a diamond form? Under intense pressure. This isn't just poetry. It's a fundamental law of growth and transformation. Anything valuable in life requires pushing through resistance. But here's where it gets interesting. The resistance you feel toward pushing yourself isn't just about the task at hand. It's about identity. Every time you push yourself, you're challenging your current self-image. You're saying to yourself, I am more than what I've been. I am more than what I've done. I am more than what others expect of me. This identity shift is what makes pushing yourself so challenging and so transformative. When you push yourself consistently, you're not just changing your actions. You're changing your self-concept. You're rewiring your brain to expect more from yourself, to demand more from life, to create more impact in the world. Consider this. And every time you push yourself beyond your comfort zone, you're not just building strength or skill, you're building evidence. Evidence that you're capable of more. Evidence that your limits are self-imposed. Evidence that excellence isn't something you do occasionally. It's something you are fundamentally. Winners understand that this evidence-building process is crucial. They don't wait for confidence to push themselves. They push themselves to build confidence. They don't wait for motivation to take action. They take action to generate motivation. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They create conditions through their daily push. Let me share a profound truth about human achievement. Your daily push creates momentum, and momentum is the most powerful force in personal development. When you push yourself consistently, day after day, you create a force that begins to carry you forward. What started as difficult becomes doable. What was once impossible becomes inevitable. But here's what most people miss about momentum. It works both ways. Every time you choose comfort over growth, every time you choose easy over challenging, every time you choose mediocrity over excellence, you're creating negative momentum. You're training yourself to settle, to accept less, to become less. Winners understand this principle at a bone-deep level. They know that every decision either pushes them toward their potential or pulls them toward mediocrity. There is no neutral ground. Every choice, every action, every response is either building positive momentum or creating drag on their progress. Think about your last week. How many opportunities did you have to push yourself? How many did you take? How many did you let slip by? Each of those moments was a vote for who you're becoming. Each was a brick in the foundation of your future self. The beautiful thing about pushing yourself is that it compounds over time. Just as money grows through compound interest, personal excellence grows through compound effort. Every push builds on previous pushes. Every victory creates the platform for greater victories. Every breakthrough leads to bigger breakthroughs. But let's talk about something that most people misunderstand about pushing yourself. It's not about being perfect. It's not about never failing or never falling short. It's about your response when you do fall short. Winners don't use failure as an excuse to stop pushing. They use it as feedback to push smarter. When you push yourself consistently, you develop what I call pressure immunity. Just as your muscles develop immunity to certain types of stress through repeated exposure, your mind develops immunity to pressure through consistent pushing. What once seemed
Who's calling?